out of the end zone, over the crossbar, and Auburn will start 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Robinson really got everything into that one. He kicked it all the way over the crossbar. And so Auburn will start 1st 20-yard line.
That's a real plus, Paul, for Georgia's defense to have a very potent Auburn offense on the 20-yard line instead of at the 30 or 35, which would probably have happened if James Brooks would have had the opportunity to return that ball.
Byron Franklin wide left. No tight end for Auburn. Bird and Robbins move right. Auburn in the I formation for Charlie Trotman. And now he's changing his signal at the line. Long count for Charlie Trotman. Gives inside to Cribbs. Hit it, knocked down as he got to the line of scrimmage. Maybe up to the 21 or 22-yard line, and that's all. Cribbs got the carry right in the center of the line and found very little running room. It'll be a gain of 2, 2nd down 8 at the 22-yard line.
It's quite obvious, Paul, that Georgia's excited. Their defense got up applauding and jumping all over the place. They're excited today.
Robbins and Atkins move wide left. Franklin wide right on 2nd down 8. Again, Trotman changing his play at the line of scrimmage. Georgia with only 4 men on the line of scrimmage right now. They fake it inside. Trotman keeps 25. He's at the 30. He's at the 35. And he is finally knocked down at the 36-yard line. Charlie Trotman kept it on the option. Took it outside after faking to Cribbs and found a crease in the Georgia defense. Ran for 1st down yardage up to the 36-yard line. The strong safety, Jeff Hipp, came around to knock him down.
That was a little different front on the part of the Georgia defense. They've been lining up with 8 on the line of scrimmage with their 5 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers, a rover back included in that 8, but we didn't see about 5 or 6 guys on the line of scrimmage that time.
They marked Trotman down at the 37. 1st down Auburn. They're up double wideouts right, single wideout. Franklin is left. Trotman again moves out. Gives to Brooks. Finds running room at the 40 and knocked down as he got to the 41-yard line. James Brooks found a little crease off their right side as they ran a counter play. Gordon Terry, the end, knocked him down as he came back through. They'll mark him down at the 42-yard line. Gain of 5, 2nd down 5 for the Auburn Tigers.
I think the reason that Auburn is not playing with the tight end, they're trying to spread this Georgia defense out, and they're doing that with the 3 wide receivers in the ball game.
Auburn is up again, double wide out right, single wide out Franklin to the left. I formation on 2nd down 5. Trotman moves right on the option. He gives inside to Cribbs, and Cribbs is knocked down. He got to the 43, and that's all. Gain of 1. 3rd down 4 coming up for the Auburn Tigers as they ran into the meat of the Georgia defense, and middle linebacker Frank Ross, left guard Eddie Weaver were there for the Bulldogs. Phil?
2 carries for Joe Cribbs, only 3 yards. They remember well he ran for 250 against them last year, and I'm sure they've set a lot of their defense for Mr. Joe Cribbs today.
Rusty Bird and Mark Robbins are wide right. Byron Franklin wide left, no tight end for Auburn. 3rd down 4 at the 43-yard line. Just underway, no score at Athens Sanford Stadium. Trotman moves out right on the counter option. Pitches to Brooks at the 40. Brooks is hit, and Brooks gets away and then is thrown at the 43-yard line. Brooks was hit first in the backfield by the linebacker, the rover man, Pat Collins. He got away from Collins, but the pursuit caught up. And so Auburn is going to face a punting situation.
One thing, Paul, they did move the ball out nearly to midfield, so they will not give up field position on the exchange of the ball.
Scott Werner, the sophomore, the junior from Jonesboro, is deep. Skip Johnston in punt formation at the Auburn 28-yard line. Georgia shifting the line. Skip gets his kick away. It is a low line drive spiral. Warner is going to field it on the run at the 23. He is hit, gets away at the 25, and knocked down at the 27-yard line. Got away for a moment. Bob Harris hit him first and knocked him off balance. And then Rusty Bird came over to finish him off. A 34-yard kick for Skip Johnston. Georgia will start 1st and 10.
It's a penalty against Georgia, holding against Georgia.
Well, let's see. I don't see a marker, but all the officials are back up at the line of scrimmage, and they're walking off. They're walking off across midfield, and it appears that Auburn is going to get the ball back on a big penalty. They marked the penalty all the way down to the Georgia 42-yard line, and we'll see what the official signal is. I never saw a flag.
Apparently they held somebody up at the line, huh?
That's the signal, holding, so Auburn gets a big break. Tigers have the ball 1st and 10 at the Georgia 42-yard line.
As we noted last week, this is something that's been a very detrimental factor against Auburn's offense. It's good to see it happen on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Atkins and Robbins move wide left. That's a wide side of the field. Franklin is wide right. High backfield for Trotman on 1st down at the 42. Fakes inside, comes out on the option, pitches to Brooks. He's hit in the backfield to 50, gets away, flag on a play, across the 40, down to the 36-yard line is James Brooks. There's a penalty marker down in the Auburn backfield, and let's check that penalty.
I think we got a crackback clip, Paul.
A lot of animation on the Georgia sideline, the near sideline, and so it appears the walk-off will go against Auburn. James Brooks got that pitch all the way back at the 50-yard line, 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, ran down to the 35, but it's all going to come back. And Charlie Troutman signals that it is a crackback penalty against Auburn. Quickly, this broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by Auburn University solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of WAUD Radio in Auburn and Auburn University is prohibited. The announcers for this broadcast are employed by WAUD Radio, selected with the approval of Auburn University. Penalty moves the ball back to the 43-yard line of Auburn. It'll now be first down, 24 to go for the Auburn Tigers. Double wide outs right, split backs behind Troutman, and a wide out left. No tight end in the game for the Auburn Tigers. They're spreading it out. They give inside to Cribbs. He finds a little running room. That's Brooks, I'm sorry, and he's up to the 45, and that's all. Maybe the 46-yard line. Hit by a host of Georgia Bulldogs. Frank Ross, the linebacker, I think, got there first along with Terry, the end. Play gained up to the 46-yard line, and so it'll be second down now, 22 for the Auburn Tigers.
Passing situation now. Auburn's got to put it up in the air to make up the 15 yards that they were penalized for.
Again, double wide outs right. Franklin wide by himself to the left side. On second down, 22. Troutman is back to throw, rolling to his right. He's got a lot of time. He's got a lot of room. He is away. It is tipped incomplete. He was looking for Byron Franklin, but the linebacker, Nate Taylor, came over and knocked the ball down. The Tifton Termite, Nate Taylor, a walk-on, came over and knocked the ball down as Franklin was running free at the 40-yard line of Georgia.
Boy, Paul, there's a lot of conversation going on down there between those players. You got a lot of Georgia boys playing with Auburn, and of course they remember each other from high school days, and this being a big rivalry and everything that's riding on it, it's going to be tough down on the grass down there today.
Atkins and Robbins wide right, Franklin wide left on third down, 22 at the Auburn 46-yard line. Long count for Troutman. He gives to Brooks inside. Brooks at the 50 and knocked down as he got into Georgia territory at the 48-yard line. Again, Nate Taylor, the linebacker, came over and made the play. And that tackle by the shoestring kept Brooks from going a long way. Auburn again will have to punt, but this time it's from the Georgia 48-yard line. Skip Johnston is in to punt. Deep is Scott Werner for the Georgia Bulldogs.
This would be a great time for Skip to hit one of those little semi-punts that he tries to hold down so that the coverage can get down and stop it inside the 10.
Georgia with 6 men up on the line, and they are not going to rush. Skip kicks to the far side of the field, gets a beautiful spiral away. It is going to land at the 15 and go down near the sideline and be down at the 2-yard line. That ball hit at the 12-yard line and hugged the sideline all the way down to the 2-yard line, and Auburn had a host of people down there to down it. I think Rusty Bird got it. A 46-yard punt for Skip Johnston. Georgia starts at a hole at the 2-yard line.
That ball had Auburn eyes, Mike Cohen.
It really did. You called it, Phil Snow, and Skip Johnston really has a knack of being able to do that, and has been very successful with it this year.
They're right in front of the Auburn cheering section and the Auburn band on the far side. Everybody up, and now Lindsey Scott comes out of the game. He will not be in the lineup. Carmen Prince in the lineup. Georgia in the power eye at their 2-yard line. No score in the game. Early first quarter action. Georgia with the ball for their first possession. Buck Ballou, the quarterback. He fakes inside, gives it. He's hit in the end zone. It's a safety. He's hit in the end zone by Frank Warren and knocked down. Ballou is down on the ground. He may be injured. Frank Warren knocked him down for a safety. There's timeout on the field with the score. Auburn 2, Georgia nothing.
Took any kind of fake. He looked as though he knew Ballou had the ball the whole time.
Well, it was obvious the Auburn defenders, Phil, had the middle covered, and it was Frank's responsibility to cover the option or the rollout of the quarterback, and he did a good job doing it.
Okay, following the safety, the free kick will be handled by punter Mike Garrett. Joe Cribbs is deep for Auburn at the Auburn 30-yard line. Garrett, of course, will punt from the Georgia 20. Auburn leading 2-0, 10:22 to go here in the first quarter of play, and Buck Ballou has just left the field with a knee injury after Frank Warren tackled him in the end zone. Garrett's kicks a high spiral. Cribbs takes it at the 28-yard line, across the 30, 35. He's at the 40, surging forward up to near the 45-yard line, and Auburn will start with very good field position, and things are suddenly very quiet here in Sanford Stadium where these host of Georgia fans were looking for the Sugar Dogs today.
That is a tremendous blow to lose Buck Bellew if, in fact, he cannot return to the game. But in the case of Georgia, they have a pretty good quarterback on the bench. They have the guy who took them to a great year last year in Jeff Pyburn. He is an experienced quarterback. He started the year playing quarterback, but has been moved out of his position by Bellew in the last 3-4 weeks.
Chester Willis is in. James Brooks is out. Auburn with double wideouts left. Bird and Robbins. Franklin wide right on first down at the 45-yard line. Troutman gives to Cribbs. Cribbs at the 45, surges forward to the 48-yard line, and that's all. Gain of 3. Let's see where they mark him down. Maybe a gain of 4 as the whole pile of players just tried to surge forward there. They did gain 3. It'll be second down 7 for Auburn. Pat McShay made the tackle for the Georgia Bulldogs.
The Dogs appear to be pursuing very well on the wide stuff, Mike. Do you think Auburn may turn inside now and try to hurt them inside?
Well, it's obvious they're plugging up the hole drill effectively on the inside too, Phil.
Brooks is back in. Bird and Robbins wide left, Franklin wide right. Split backs for Troutman on second down 7. He comes out on the counter option. Tries to get his pitch away and can. Now keeps it to 50. He's to the 45 and down to the 42-yard line is Charlie Troutman. Troutman kept it inside, running in heavy traffic all the way and got first down yardage to the Georgia 42-yard line. Finally knocking him down was Randy Cook, the defensive end. It's a first down Auburn at the Georgia 42-yard line.
11-yard run for old Charles there. He's 2 for 21 yards so far.
Ryan Atkins wide right. Robbins wide right in the slot. Franklin wide left. High backfield for Charlie Troutman. First down at the Georgia 42. Now Cribbs and Brooks will split the backfield. Troutman back to throw. He's trying to throw a screen. That's a lateral, and it went out of bounds way back there at the Auburn or at the Georgia 49-yard line. Troutman tried to hit a long lateral to Mark Robbins, and the ball went behind Mark Robbins and went out of bounds.
Obviously a breakdown in the play. Charlie definitely appeared to be throwing the quick screen out there, and Mark Robbins took 2 steps downfield.
Let's check the ruling here. They first ruled a lateral. They marked it at the 49, and now they've moved it back up, but they're going to move it back now to the 49-yard line. I think it was quite obvious that that was a lateral, and so Auburn will take a 7-yard loss. Second down 17 now for the Auburn Tigers.
Had Charlie got the ball to Robbins, it looked as though the play was forming real well. Had some offensive linemen out there, and Robbins had some running room.
That'll go as, I guess, a running play, loss of 7. Atkins and Robbins move wide left. Franklin wide right on second down 17 at the 49. Cribbs and Brooks split behind Troutman. He fakes inside, gives to Cribbs at the 45, 40. He's at the 35, 30, 25, 20, and knocked down at the 20-yard line on a shoestring tackle. Pat Collins, I think, came up to knock him down. Pat Collins, a rover, just got Joe Cribbs on a shoestring tackle. He just exploded for 30 yards down to the 20-yard line.
You know, Paul, we've been wondering about the breakaway speed of Joe Cribbs the last few weeks. He looked as though he hasn't had that. He's got it. He's got it. No question about it.
And, Phil, that's been a concern of some Georgia people, with Georgia stacking up 8 people on the line of scrimmage to get Cribbs or Brooks in that backfield, and they could go for some valuable yardage, and he just did that.
Auburn first down at the Georgia 20. Double wide outs left. That's Bird and Robbins. Franklin wide right. Cribbs and Brooks again behind Charlie Troutman on first down at the 20. They come out on the counter option. Troutman keeps his hit and knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. Troutman slipped as he tried to make his cut and sort of stumbled. That allowed pursuit to catch him from behind on the counter option. Play failed again. Second down 10. Eddie Weaver, the middle guard, or one of the left guards on the defensive set, came in to knock him down.
It looked as though Georgia had heard the offensive call in the huddle, because they had about 5 guys shifted to the strong side that Charlie was optioning to.
Brian Atkins brings the play in, goes wide right. Robbins in the slot right. Franklin wide left on second down 10 at the 20-yard line of Georgia. Troutman with Auburn up. Long count for Charlie Troutman. Movement in the line. Flags are down. Troutman rolling the pass. He's pursued back there. Gets his pass away incomplete at the 8-yard line. Georgia had a couple of people offsides. We'll have to see if Auburn drew them off or not. 8:06 to go first quarter. Clock is stopped. Auburn leads 2-0.
Sure would be a big break for Auburn if they get that 5 yards. That will give them second down in good position.
And it will be a 5-yard walk-off against the Georgia Bulldogs. Troutman varying the count and had a couple of Georgia men jumping off sides. So now Auburn will face a second down 5 at the 15-yard line of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Last week, these Dogs played Florida. Florida helped them greatly in the first half by turning the ball over and giving them field position the first half. So far, Georgia's been their own worst enemy.
Now Coach Alex Gibbs with some substitution in the line. Buck Bellew is being helped from the playing field. He is not walking. Auburn up on second down 5 at the 15-yard line of Georgia. Double wideouts left. Franklin, or rather Robbins and Bird. Franklin wide right. Trotman rolls right, looking to throw, has time, gets his pass away, and it's dropped on the 8-yard line by Byron Franklin. Franklin was open, Trotman threw it behind him. Scott Werner was the defensive player in the vicinity over there, and the pass simply didn't get there. Third down 5 now for Auburn at the 15-yard line of Georgia. Georgia's had the ball only one offensive play. 7:54 to go here first quarter. Auburn with the ball, third down 5 at the Georgia 15. That one offensive play, Frank Warren tackled Buck Bellew in the end zone for a safety. Auburn leads 2-0.
It's obvious that Auburn's trying to keep the Georgia defense honest because they threw in 2nd and 5, and they hadn't done that very often this year.
Atkins and Robbins wide left, Franklin wide right, split backs. They move right, give to Cribbs. Cribbs is down to the 11, maybe the 10-yard line, and we'll have to see where they mark him down if he got the first down. First down marker is just short of the 10-yard line. Cribbs is down just short of the 10-yard line.
I don't think it's going to be a first down. I think they're going to have to decide what they're going to do.
They signal it is fourth down. Fourth and less than a yard, and Auburn takes a timeout. Timeout on the field with the score, the Auburn Tigers 2, the Georgia Bulldogs 0.
Down zone, and I think it's a good decision, Phil, don't you, at the first part of the game with the momentum
I do.
in Auburn's direction with just about half a foot left to go for a first down.
Right, and they've also had the timeout, so they could put in some kind of play. If Georgia comes up on them, they might throw that thing in there for a touchdown.
Well, they put in 2 tight ends, Keith Euchre and Mike Locklear, power I on 4th and 1. Georgia with everybody in there, and somebody jumped offside. Let's see who it is. Georgia jumped offsides in the Auburn backfield, but Auburn, let's see if Auburn drew them off. Nope, Georgia offsides. Auburn gets the easy first down.
Well, that's a sure way to make it, isn't it?
Auburn gets it the easy way as the Georgia man jumped offsides. On Trotman's signal, Auburn has it first and goal at the 5-yard line.
Is it possible to get too excited for a football game? Georgia's been jumping around and making mistakes.
That's very possible.
Joe Creeman's a man who just came into the game as they added meat to the line, jumped offsides. Auburn up still in the power I. First and goal at the 5-yard line. Long count for Charlie Trotman. Everybody up close. They give it to the deep man, Cribbs. He's over the line. Jumps down to the 1-yard line, inside the 1-yard line before being knocked down is Joe Cribbs.
What a tremendous run.
Everything was stacked up, and Joe went all the way over the top down to the 1-yard line. Dale Williams, Frank Ross knocked him down. They are at the 1-foot line. Second down goal, Auburn at the 1.
You know, the amazing thing, Phil, was that he was able to keep his feet after jumping about 2 yards up in the air to get that extra couple of yards.
He may have been working with James Walker, the hurdler.
Auburn up, second down goal at the 1-yard line. Dropping the quarterback. Everybody stacked in close. They give to Cribbs. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Cribbs off left tackle. Got into the end zone. Touchdown. James Brooks and Ed Dubose were the blockers on that left end, and they got him in along with Brad Everett.
It looks as though Auburn came to win this ball game.
He gets a signal from the official. Or at least now he gets a signal from the official. George Portella approaches the football, and the second half is underway. Kick is high and short with the wind. Scott is going to take it on the run at the 10, 15, 20, across the 25, 30. Fumble, who got the ball? Scott fumbled the ball. Let's see who got it. It popped out of there very quickly, and let's see who came up with the football.
Clifford Tony thinks Auburn got it.
Auburn says they did. There's Dan Dickerson coming out. Clock is stopped. Portella signals Auburn has it. No signal from the official yet. Big stack up down at the 30-yard line. Let's see who has the football. They're still trying to unpack them in there.
Gee whiz, nobody wants to get up.
And now let's see. They signal Georgia has the ball.
I wonder what happened down in that pile.
Chris Martin and Adolph Cosby and Johnny Cheeks were all down in there for Auburn, but Georgia came out with it. They'll have it first down at their 32-yard line, so that's where the Bulldogs start with the second half kickoff. Lindsey Scott returns 22 yards to the 32-yard line. Georgia with the ball, and they dodged a bullet that time on a fumble. Fiber, the quarterback. He sends Lindsey Scott wide left. Everybody else in tight. High backfield behind him, and now Amp Arnold goes in motion. To the right side. Right side is wide. Pyburn rolls that way. Pressure's on. Gets his pass away complete at the 35. He breaks away at the 40, and across the 40 up to the 41 or 42-yard line is Amp Arnold. Arnold, a man in motion, caught the ball and broke a couple of tackles. Got all the way across the 40-yard line up near the 42-yard line. Play gain 9. It's second down 1 for Georgia, and actually it's less than 1 yard to go.
Jeff Viburn's having a great day throwing the football. He has 9 completions, 10 attempts for 96 yards.
Lindsey Scott is wide left. Again, they have the man in the slot, Carmen Prince, this time. They give to the fullback, Womack. He has the first down, I think, up across the 42-yard line. In there to get him quickly was Edmund Nelson, but not before he did get first down yardage. So first down, Georgia, as they move across the 42-yard line up to the 43. They mark it across the 42, first and 10 for the Georgia Bulldogs.
It's interesting to note that Georgia did come out throwing the ball the first time. They obviously looked at the halftime stats just like we did.
Lindsey Scott moves wide left again. Carmen Prince in the slot on the left side. Left is the wide side of the field. Bob Harris is out with Lindsey Scott. Fiburn up in the eye. Quick pitch to the deep back Simon. Simon at the 40. He's at the 45 and knocked down at the 46-yard line. Freddie Smith got a hand on him to knock him down. Play gains up to the 47-yard line. Play gains 5 yards, or call it a gain of 4. Second down 6 at the 47-yard line.
The Georgia Dogs would like nothing better than to come out here on the first drive of the second half and put it into the end zone.
13:15 to go third quarter. Georgia leads Auburn 10-9. Carmen Prince wide right, Lindsey Scott wide left. Fiburn has him up, high backfield. He is back to throw, straight back, has time, has a lot of time. Now pressure's on, gets his pass away, tipped incomplete. Had a man wide open. Norris Brown had it go through his hands and up in the air, incomplete. As Brown came open at the Auburn 45-yard line. That'll bring up now third down 7. Third down 6, actually, at the 47-yard line of Georgia.
That may have been just thrown too hard, Paul. He really nailed him with that ball, and he was only about 10 yards from him. I think it was a question of him throwing the ball too hard there.
Georgia 4 of 7 on third down conversions in the first half. They're up on 3rd and 6 now. And they send Scott and Prince wide right. Norris wide left. Fiburn back to throw. Has time. Now pressure's on. Gets his pass away deep. He's got a man out there. It is complete to 35 and knocked down inside the 35-yard line at the Auburn 33-yard line. Darrell Wilkes made the tackle, but Lindsey Scott got open and went high in the air and got the football. That's a Georgia first down at the Auburn 33-yard line.
Those third down conversions again. They are making them.
That's a difficult pattern to cover with the two receivers to that side. And Scott, the receiver, came to the inside like a post pattern and then cut it outside and was in that open area and came up with a good reception.
Scott is wide right with Darrell Wilkes. Carmen Prince wide left. Bob Harris on him. Fiburn up on first down. They pitch to Simon. He cuts it inside the 35. Hit and knocked down at the 33-yard line. Coming across to get him was Freddie Smith. Chris Martin was there to help out, and the play failed again. Second down 10 for Georgia at the 33-yard line.
James McKinney also coming up from the safety position, making a very aggressive tackle.
It was 13 instead of 31 that time.
Right.
James played hard in the last couple of games. He's made some big plays.
Now let's see. Amp Arnold checks in. Carmen Prince is the tailback. They have 4 wide receivers in there. Prince is going to line up at the tailback position. And now they split the backs behind Fiburn. He's straight back to throw. Looking downfield. He is away deep. He's got a man out there. It's intercepted at the 8-yard line. Intercepted by Bob Harris and down at the Auburn 8-yard line. They were looking for Amp Arnold down the middle. And Bob Harris was just playing center field and went up and got the ball at the 8-yard line of Auburn.
That's the same pattern that Georgia has ran several times today, with Prince the back going on the arrow pattern toward the sideline, and the two receivers, Scott and Arnold, heading down the field. And just a bad throw on the part of Fiburn, the quarterback, and a good play on the part of Bob Harris, the cornerback.
Fiburn just thought he would be open and just put it up there.
Georgia leads Auburn 10-9. 11:53 to go here in the third quarter. Auburn with the ball for the first time. They'll start at their 8-yard line. Cribbs and Brooks behind Charlie Trotman. Bird and Robbins wide left. Franklin is wide right. Now they split. Cribbs and Brooks behind Trotman. They fake it inside. They give it inside to Brooks, and Brooks is up near the 13 or 14-yard line before being knocked down inside. Pat McShay, the right end, got him down. And now some words being exchanged down there between some of the players. Quick opener gained about 6 yards. Called it a second down 4. The ball near the 14-yard line.
Good first down run there, and Auburn needs to get it out of here deep in their own territory.
Now Franklin and Brooks leave the game. Ed Dubose and Cribbs are the deep backs behind Charlie Trotman on second down. They give to Joe Cribbs. Cribbs at the 15 and knocked down at the 16-yard line. Play gained about 2 to the 16. It'll be third down. Third down along to Eddie Weaver made the tackle for the Georgia Bulldogs.
This is a big play. Auburn needs this first down. Give him some running room out to about the 25.
Byron Franklin now checks back in, and Locklear, the tight end, will go out. So Auburn used the tight end for just one play. 10:58 to go, third quarter. Georgia leads 10-9. Auburn up third down, a long 2 at the 16-yard line. DuBose and Cribbs behind Charlie Trotman. Double wide outs right, Franklin wide left. Now they split DuBose and Cribbs behind Charlie Trotman. Long count. He's back to throw. He's looking. He's got a man. It's complete at the 20 and knocked down at the 21-yard line is Byron Franklin. That's an Auburn first down. Scott Warner defending, but Byron Franklin was open and caught it. Jeff Hipp and Scott Warner knocked him down quickly. It's an Auburn first down at the 21-yard line.
Byron Franklin was looking directly into the sun when that ball arrived.
That's a good call on the part of Auburn's offense, too. They had 8 guys stacked up on that line of scrimmage, ready for that up-the-middle play, and Charlie had a good call. That
shows you something about the confidence that Charlie Trotman and his coaches have in him. He hasn't played one all day. They go for it on third down and 2.
Cribbs is out. Brooks is in at tailback. He gets a carry up the middle, 25. Brooks up to the 28-yard line before being knocked down. Had a little spin at the 25 and dove forward for 3 more yards before being knocked down by Pat Collins, the rover. So James Brooks up very quickly. Frank Ross also in on the tackle. And Brooks got it across the 25 very quickly up to the 28-yard line. They just surged forward with power running that time.
I was talking to Pro Scout at halftime, Paul, and he noted that he'd never seen such acceleration on the part of the running backs as he's seen in James Brooks today.
They got 7. Now Cribbs and Brooks are back in the backfield on second down 3. Trotman moves right, gives it to Cribbs. Cribbs is up to the 30-yard line, maybe the 31-yard line before being knocked down. He'll be very close but short of first down yardage. So give him a gain of 2. It'll be third down 1. The ball across the 30-yard line. They've got across the 31-yard line. Nate Taylor and Tim Parks made the tackle for Georgia.
Another big third down play, although this is 3rd and 1, and you would think that Auburn, the rushing team, ought to be able to get a yard, get this first down.
Bird wide left, Robbins wide right. They check the tight end lock there back in. Willis is in instead of Cribbs. Brooks, the deep man in the eye. Georgia showing blitz. They give to Cribbs anyway. He is short, maybe of the first down. Hit and knocked down as they got to the line of scrimmage, and we'll have to see where they mark it down.
I don't think he made it.
Eddie Weaver, the defensive guard, got in and knocked him down. Play failed again. It's 4th down.
That was just great penetration on the part of the Georgia defense and enabled Weaver to slip under that offensive line and come up with the shoes of Brooks, the running back.
They failed to gain 4th and 1. Skip Johnston will await the snap at the 15-yard line. Scott Warner is deep for Georgia at their 30. Wind is behind Skip Johnston. Low snap. He takes it off the ground. Gets his kick away. A high spiral. Warner signals fair catch and makes it at the 19-yard line. Tremendous kick by Skip Johnston. He got it high up in the wind, and the spiral turned over very well. That's a 50-yard kick for Skip Johnston.
Skip.
Go ahead, Captain.
Skip having one of his finest days, Bill. He averaged over 47 yards the first half, and that one, the first one in the second half, over 50 yards.
He's spiraling them today.
Yes, sir.
When he's spiraling them, he's kicking them 50 yards. When he's kicking them end over end, they're at least going 38 and 40. So
8:21 to go third quarter. Georgia leads 10-9. The Bulldogs have the ball again. At their 19, they send Amp Arnold wide left, double wide outs to the right side. No tight end for Georgia now. Byron is up in the eye. Straight back, gives on the draw to Simon. Simon's at the 20. He's at the 25. Fumble! It's caught by Bob Harris. Auburn has the ball at the 30-yard line. He fumbled it straight up in the air, and Bob Harris caught it in the air. The second interception of the second half by Bob Harris. Auburn has it at the 30-yard line of Georgia. Things coming alive now as Simon found running room on the draw play, ran up for about 10 yards, but somebody really stuck him right at the 28-yard line, and the ball popped high in the air. Bob Harris was waiting for it. Auburn has it first down at the 30-yard line.
Big break on the part of Auburn.
Sure is. 2 turnovers early in the second half of play against the Georgia Dogs. Auburn hasn't gotten anything out of the first one. It remains to be seen what they can do here.
Trotman changing his play at the line. He has double wideouts. Atkins and Robbins right. Fumble, and Georgia has it back. Trotman dropped the snap from center. He just dropped the snap from center, and Georgia has it back. Recovered by Ken McCravey. He made the big play earlier that threw Trotman for a loss in the second quarter when Auburn was moving. And then he just made the big play recovering that snap from center. And so Georgia has it back at their 31-yard line.
Just not a good exchange between the center and Charlie. Right. You got 2 seniors there handling the ball, and those things just happen.
So Georgia has it back at their 31-yard line. They send Amp Arnold wide left. Lindsey Scott wide right. High backfield for Jeff Pyburn. Auburn rolls to his right. He's looking to throw. Has a lot of time back there. Gets his pass away. I think it's out of bounds, and it is. Incomplete, out of bounds. Had Lindsey Scott on the sideline in front of the Auburn bench, but Scott tried to keep his feet in bounds and couldn't as he dove out of bounds to make that catch. Second down 10 at the 31-yard line for Georgia.
Jeff Pyburn is a very strong-armed quarterback. He was rolling to his right, and he still hummed that ball, I mean, on a dead line.
Now Carney Norris checks out. Let's see if Simon went back in or Carmen Prince. Prince will be the deep back in the eye. Actually, they're not going to be in the eye. They split the backs. Double wide outs right, single wide out left on second down 10. Pyburn straight back to throw. Pressure's on. He is away, complete, and knocked down hard on the far sideline, right at the 32-yard line. Let's see who came over to make that play. Clifford Toney. Carmen Prince was the receiver coming out of the backfield. Clifford Toney stayed with him that time and made the play. And the play gained only a yard to the 32-yard line. Third down 9 for Georgia now at the 32-yard line.
And Frank Warren arrived just after he threw that ball and really made Jeff pay for that one.
Now Prince has to leave the game.
Tony wasn't going to let that happen twice because that's the one that Prince was open on about for the 10-yard play in the first half.
Scott wide right, Arnold wide left. Pyburn gives him the delay to Norris. He is hit, gets away for a moment, but then is knocked down as he got up to the 33 or 34-yard line. That's all. Ken Hardy knocked him down. Play gained 1 to the 33, and Georgia sends Mike Garrett on for his first punt of the day on fourth down 8. Joe Cribbs is deep for Auburn.
Kind of strange that as well as Jeff's been throwing the ball, they suddenly run on 3rd and 8. I guess they're trying to cross him up.
Garrett stands at the 18. High snap, but he gets it and gets his kick away against the wind. It's a lazy spiral. Cribbs is going to field it. He is hit and knocked down immediately at the 34-yard line. Joe Cribbs fielded the ball and was hit and knocked down very quickly as he fielded it at the 34-yard line. That's a 34-yard punt for Mike Garrett, and so Auburn will start at 1st and 10 at that point.
Gee, I would think Joe should have made a fair catch on that, but he was ready to catch it and move with it.
Twin turnovers cost Auburn a golden opportunity on their last possession. And so now Troutman has them up. Double wide outs left side, Bird and Robbins. He has Franklin wide right. Cribbs and Brooks in the eye. They're out rolling left. Troutman looking to throw. It's caught and dropped. Hit Rusty Bird right in the numbers, and he just popped off his shoulder pads and fell to the turf. Charlie drilled it right in there, and again, it might be a case of throwing a little hard, Phil. He drilled him.
It seemed to me, though, that he just took his eye off it just as it arrived, looking for the defender.
That was definitely a good throw on the part of Troutman and a reception that should have been had on the part of Bird.
Second down 10, Auburn up at the 34-yard line. Bird and Robbins wide left. Franklin wide right. Chester Willis is in, replacing Cribbs at the fullback spot. They fake it inside. Troutman keeps on the option. He pitches to Brooks at the 35-40, 45-50. Brooks at the 45-40. He's at the 35. He may go all the way. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. What a run by James Brooks. Oh, he cut it down to short side option and cut it all the way back across the field and took it in for the touchdown. 66 yards for James Brooks. And everybody on the field had at least one shot at him that time.
Right. That's something Auburn has that nobody else has in the SEC today, and that's a guy like Brooks and Cribbs.
It is a great
Break your back.
Oh, my goodness, what an advantage it is to have those two guys in the same backfield.
And don't forget, Charlie Troutman strung that option out all the way to the sideline before he pitched.
Great ball handling on the part of Troutman.
Auburn wants to go for two. They can't get anybody in, and I think they may have to take a timeout. Well, let's see what's going to happen. They want the ball moved over to the hash mark.
Charlie's buying a little time. He's asking that the ball be moved and trying to get the play in.
They don't have but 10 men on the field, and now Auburn may have to use a timeout here. They can't get the 10th man or the 11th man in, and now here comes somebody. The coaches in the booth to our left want Auburn to call timeout, but they just now marked it in play, so they have 25 seconds now to get this play called.
This is a very important 2 points because that will give Auburn a 7-point lead if they can make the 2-point conversion.
Troutman has them up. Clock is running. They're in the power I. It's been running a long time. They send Brooks in motion right out of the power I. Willis is the up back. Pitch to Cribbs. He wants to throw and can't. He is knocked down. There is a flag on the play. There is a flag on the play. Let's check that penalty. Let's check the penalty. Georgia blitzed everybody that time as Cribbs wanted to throw the option pass. However, Auburn players are leaving the field, and so let's check. It appears it might be against Auburn. Illegal motion is the penalty against Tigers 15, the Georgia Bulldogs 10. start 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. You say you never see the short side option work for big yardage. Well, James Brooks just took one 66 yards, Mike.
He certainly did a great job.
I've often wondered why they run to the short side of the field. Now I know.
That's right.
Gives him more room to cut back against the grain, I guess.
There you go.
Incidentally, James Brooks went over the 1,000-yard mark for the year early in this ball game. Joe Cribbs was about 140 short of the 1,000 yards. He's got, by our reckoning, over 100 now, so it's conceivable that both these young guys could cross the 1,000-yard mark in yardage here on the turf of Sanford Stadium today.
Georgia up 1st and 10. Pyburn, the quarterback. Double wide outs right. He gives to the tailback Norris. Norris at the 20. He's at the 25. Hit. Gets away. Fumble. And Auburn has the ball. Auburn has the ball. It's Bob Harris again. Bob Harris with his 3rd turnover in the 3rd quarter has the football at the 27-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 28. Bob Harris got the ball again.
I couldn't see who made the big hit.
I think they just stripped it away from him. He spun around trying to get more yardage, and the ball just stripped away. You got the freshman running back in there. He has great talent, but he has difficulty holding onto the ball.
Auburn up 1st down at the Georgia 28-yard line. Trotman, the quarterback, sends Franklin wide right. Robbins and Bird wide left. Cribbs and Peoples behind Charlie Trotman. Movement in the line. They give to Cribbs. He dives forward across the 25 up to the 24-yard line before being knocked down.
I hope I didn't see a flag go in that foul.
Nate Taylor made the tackle. Play gain.
No huddle.
Play gain 4. 2nd down 6. Auburn going without a huddle. They're trying to put the kill in here. Trotman has him up. Split backs, Peoples and Cribbs behind him. Again, Franklin wide right. They give inside to Cribbs again. He's at the 20. Cribbs down at the 18 or 17-yard line. Somebody grabbed him by a shoestring. It looked like a man inside the line of scrimmage, number 93, and I don't see him here. Nate Taylor reached up off the ground and knocked him down. That's an Auburn 1st down. They'll mark it down at the 17-yard line. And now they have to stop play for a moment to mark the ball. They do mark it. It's 1st down Auburn at the 17. Auburn going without a huddle. Trotman has him up. He wants to run a counter option to the left side. He turns it up inside 15 and down to the 11-yard line is Charlie Trotman.
Great quarterback.
And now there's a flag on the play in the vicinity of Rusty Bird and Scott Warner. And let's see what happened out there. Flag on the play. Rusty Bird and Scott Warner were engaging in something in the deep secondary.
Auburn is cheering. I think it's against the defensive back.
Well, let's check and see. It's going to be a personal foul against Auburn, a personal foul against Georgia. Offsetting penalties.
Oh, well, that's second best anyway.
Well,
I think it was a dead ball foul also.
Should not affect the down on the yardage.
Trotman carried from the 18 down 2, and let's see where they're going to mark him down. Auburn's going without a huddle, but they have not marked the ball down. They're going to mark it down at the 12. And now let's see what happens. Georgia is going to take a timeout. So the Bulldogs, perhaps unnerved by Auburn going without a huddle, takes a timeout. Timeout on the field with a score. Auburn 15, the Georgia Bulldogs 10. Stadium, this is Paul Ellen with Mike Cullen and Phil Snow. The Auburn Tigers lead the Georgia Bulldogs 15-10. 5:37 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Auburn with the ball, and the Tigers face it 2nd down 5 at the Georgia 12-yard line. They have forced 3 Georgia turnovers here in the 3rd period, and Bob Harris, the sophomore from Decatur, Georgia, has come up with all 3 of them. They now mark the ball in play, and so Auburn up 2nd down 5 at the 12-yard line. Power eye backfield, Dubose, Brooks, and Cribbs behind Charlie Trotman with 2 tight ends. They give it inside to Cribbs. He's at the 10. He surges forward to the 9 and maybe the 8. We'll see where they mark him down. He is at the 9-yard line, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down 2 at the 9-yard line of the Georgia Bulldogs. Clock is running. 5:20 to go. Taylor and Ross made the tackle.
Georgia beefing up their defensive front now with a couple of big guys.
They're up again in the power eye. Brooks and Dubose in front of Cribbs on 3rd and 2. Trotman sets his offense. Double tight end set. Everybody in close. Fakes inside, gives inside to Cribbs. He is very close to 1st down yardage. Trotman says they have it. The officials say it'll be close, and let's see. Depends on where they mark his knee down. The ball is in the vicinity of the 7-yard line, and they're going to bring the chains into measure. Pat McShay made the tackle on Joe Cribbs.
He's got it. He's got it. You're right. You checked it out, didn't you, Mr. Snow?
Yeah, he's got it.
They stretch the chains. It is 1st and goal Auburn inside the 7-yard line of Georgia. Auburn up with 4 cracks now. The ball at the 6-yard line.
We'll see the power eye here with the two tight ends, I would imagine, and we'll see Auburn come right at him, trying to grind it out inside for that touchdown, a big touchdown.
DuBose and Brooks in front of Joe Cribbs in the power eye. They're set to the short side of the field this time. That's the left side. Auburn moving left to right. Trotman moves out, gives to Cribbs. He is at the 5, maybe the 4 before being knocked back. I think they'll mark him down right near the 5-yard line. That's a gain of 1. Second down goal at the 5-yard line. Joe Cribbs just trying to follow the power blocking, Mike, on the left side that time. We've seen Auburn go right behind Claude Matthews many times this year when they really needed that yardage.
They ran that power eye that time left-handed to the left side. They usually line up to the right side.
Mark Robbins is the second tight end now instead of Keith Euchre. He is set to the right. Double tight end set, power eye backfield on second down, goal to 5. Give to Cribbs. He's at the 3. He's at the 2. He's at the 1-yard line before being knocked down.
Gee, what a run. He got that last 2 yards on his own.
It'll be third and goal now. Auburn at the Georgia 1-yard line. A big play here. 3:50 to go in the third quarter. Auburn leads 15-10. Tigers trying to capitalize on another Georgia turnover. Ball at the 1-yard line. DuBose, Brooks in front of Cribbs. On third and goal at the 1. Long count by Charlie Trotman. Double tight end set. They give to Cribbs. He dives. Touchdown! Touchdown, Joe Cribbs, right over the left guard position that time. And Joe Cribbs scores yet another touchdown. What's that, 14, Phil?
14 for Joe Cribbs this year. He's adding to his lead in the conference as the scoring leader.
Now let's see what Auburn elects to do. They went for 2 last time. It appears the Tigers will go for 2 once again. Now they try to keep enough players in there this time. Keith Euchre tried to leave the game. Now he's signaled back in.
You got to give credit to that offensive line on that those last 3 plays. First and goal to goal in the 7. They did an outstanding job.
Auburn up on the 2-point attempt. Power eye with 2 tight ends. They move right. Trotman wants to throw. He has his pass away. It is complete. Mark Robbins complete for the 2-point conversion. Trotman found him in the right corner of the end zone. Timeout on the field with the score. The Auburn Tigers 23, the Georgia Bulldogs 10. The first quarter of this game was mostly Auburn. The second quarter, all Georgia. The third quarter has been all Auburn. Georgia's turned the ball over 3 times, and Auburn has come from behind to take a 23-10 lead. George Portella set to kick off. Lindsey Scott is deep for the Georgia Bulldogs. Portella approaches the ball and gets his kick. It is a high end-over-end kick. Scott's going to take it. He may run it out from 8 yards deep across the goal. 5, 10, 15, 20, and knocked down at the 19. There's a flag on the play. Let's see what it is. It may be a clip. It may be a clip. Man who got a handout was Dan Dickerson, I think, who got a handout and tripped him up, and he may have been clipped as he made the tackle, so let's check the penalty.
Auburn obviously thinks so. They're shouting and kicking and jumping, going off the field.
I don't think
there's another flag back up field in the middle of the field at the 38-yard line, Mike.
I don't think the clip was intentional. It was called on James Brown, the big tight end from JD in Montgomery, Alabama, but didn't look intentional at all.
Scott was marked down at the 19.
You know, Mike, we always talk about these Georgia boys getting on the field with one another, but there's a lot of Alabama guys on opposite sides of the ball down there, too, so that just adds to the fervor, I would think.
Sure.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 9-yard line. Georgia will start first and 10 at their 9-yard line. 3:24 to go here, third quarter. Auburn leads 23-10. Amp Arnold, wide right. Go ahead, Phil.
Be asking too much to get one more turnover down here?
Auburn has him up with Lindsey Scott wide left. Eye backfield as the shadows creep across the field. They pitch to Simon. Simon at the 5. He is hit. Gets across the 10, though, and up near the 15-yard line. Good running by Matt Simon. Zach Hardy had a hand on him in the backfield. Could not hang on, and Simon gets about 5 yards, maybe 6 yards up to the 15. Second down 4 at the Georgia 15-yard line.
He made a good run out of what looked like at least no gain.
Second down 4, Georgia at their 15. Clock running, 3 minutes now to go in the third quarter. Arnold is wide left, Lindsey Scott wide right. Auburn up with a lot of people near the line of scrimmage now. Hyburn gives to the deep man Simon. He breaks a tackle at the 15, but James McKinney comes up and knocks him down at the 16-yard line.
Harris Rayburn messed up that play. He blitzed. Apparently he has some kind of key, and he knew it was going to the tailback, and he got in the backfield and messed things up.
They gained 1. Now it's third down Third and a long 3 at the 16. They have to cross the 19-yard line.
That's just a lead play on the part of the Georgia offense where Rayburn has to meet the fullback at the line of scrimmage or perhaps in their backfield and disrupt things, and did a good job that time.
They send Scott and Arnold both very wide left. Norris Brown is wide right. Fyburn has him up. Fyburn wants to throw. Pressure's on. He gets away at the goal line. Now he's scrambling at the 5. Gets his pass away. It is tipped incomplete at the 20-yard line. Let's see. Jimmy Womack was the intended receiver.
Harris Rayburn broke it up.
Marvin Williams was a man back there deep running around the goal line with Fyburn, though.
That's right.
It'll bring up a 4th down play. 4th down, a long 3, and Mike Garrett will stand at the goal line, ready to punt the ball. Joe Cribbs is on, standing near midfield.
Good coverage, though, on the part of Harris Rayburn, the linebacker, over on the sideline.
Garrett gets a snap. It's a good one. Pressure's on. Almost blocked. They get it away. The punter goes down, but he was not hit. Ball lands near midfield, bounces sideways, and will go out of bounds in Auburn territory at about the 47-yard line. So Auburn will start at first and 10 at the 47.
He was not touched, but he fell down in a pile, didn't he? And the fan said, "Oh, you missed that call, Mr. Fisher."
They put those punters through acting school at least a couple of weeks prior to season.
Yeah.
He tried his best.
Auburn will start first down at the 47-yard line. That was a 37-yard punt for Garrett. Trotman, the quarterback, sends Bird and Robbins wide right. Franklin wide, or rather wide left. Franklin is wide right. Cribbs and Brooks behind Charlie Trotman. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. They give it inside. Fake it. Trotman pitches to Brooks at the 45, across the 50, and into Georgia territory across the 45. Down, let's see where they mark him out of bounds. They'll mark him out near the 43. If they do, that'll be a first down.
See what pressure they put on you. Charlie comes out with that thing, fakes to Joe Cribbs inside, then operates down the line, and then pitches to James Brooks. That's a lot of things to ask the defense to do. You know?
And it was really tough because he rolled Cribbs into the line of scrimmage about 3 yards before he kept the ball.
Nate Taylor and Dale Williams made the tackle. That's that same short side option in the same part of the field, really, that Auburn scored on the 66-yard run by Brooks just a couple of minutes ago.
I have James for 11 carries, 159 yards. I have Joe for 20 and 133. I'm sure we're going to have to straighten all this out because we believe that there was a discrepancy in the yardage, that some of Cribbs' yardage was given to Brooks.
I think they amended that later on.
Well,
so
You're
at
right,
any rate, Brooks gets 10. It's first down Auburn at the 43-yard line of Georgia.
That's while I was eating a hot dog. I'm glad to know that.
Atkins and Robbins wide left. Franklin wide right on first down. Now Trotman going to change his signals at the line of scrimmage. High formation behind him. He gives inside to Cribbs. 40, 35, and knocked down at the 35-yard line is Joe Cribbs. 8 quick yards for Cribbs that time. Knocked down by Pat McShay, the right defensive end. And Auburn finding some creases in that Georgia defense that was playing on a lot of emotion earlier.
Well, I recall on the Skyriders tour this year, a lot of the riders got Joe Cribbs and James Brooks around and said, "What would you guys like to accomplish this year?" They looked at one another, and one of them said sheepishly, "Well, it'd be nice if we both gained 1,000 yards." I think they've gained 1,000 yards today.
Very close at any rate. Brooks is over 1,000. Auburn up second down 2 at the Georgia 35-yard line. Trotman with split backs behind him. Wants to throw. Has a man, Robbins, 35. Robbins at the 30. Robbins on his feet at the 25, and down he goes inside the 25-yard line. It's a first down Auburn at the 24-yard line. Again, Pat McShay ran him down to make the tackle.
Charlie Trotman has come on throwing the ball very well now, and it's really made a difference. You can't keep that little guy down long. You know what? He keeps coming back at you. He's a player.
Auburn is up, first and 10 at the 24-yard line. Atkins and Robbins are wide right. Franklin wide left. High backfield for Trotman on first down. Give to Cribbs. Cribbs across the 25 to the 20-yard line before being knocked down. Another 4 in the ledger for Joe Cribbs. It's second down 6, Auburn at the 20-yard line of the Georgia Bulldogs. 50 seconds to go third quarter, and it's been a third quarter when Auburn has really dominated the play.
You may recall on the football review this week, Coach Doug Barfield said, "You know, I think we're not getting the ball to Joe Cribbs enough." Well, he's carried it 22 times today, so he must have thought about that riding back to Auburn.
Bird and Robbins wide right. Again, a wide out left side also. No tight end for Auburn. They are up on second down 6 at the 20. Trotman wants to throw. Pressure's on. He gets away. Now he gets his pass away. It's incomplete. I don't know who he was throwing to. The Georgia man, Scott Werner, and Jeff Hipp were both back there. Hipp got his hands on the ball, and it went right between Bird and Robbins. I think he might have bounced off Mark Robbins after it was deflected. That brings up now third down 7. Clock is stopped. 20 seconds to go third quarter. Third and 7, Auburn with the ball at the Georgia 20-yard line. Atkins will come wide right. Franklin wide left, and Robbins is wide right in the slot. On 3rd and 7. Clapham with the eye backfield behind him. Now he's going to change his play again. Blitz is on. He comes on the option. Pitch to Brooks. He's at the 25. He's at the 20. Stiff arms the man at the 15 or at the 18, and down at the 17-yard line is James Brooks. Brooks strung out the pursuit and got what he could out of that play. He is going to be well short of first down yardage. Eddie Weaver, the left guard, chased James Brooks down out there. Eddie Weaver is very mobile for an interior lineman, and now Auburn takes a timeout. Timeout on the field with a score. The Auburn Tigers 23, the Georgia Bulldogs 10. George Portella is on. If he does kick this, he will be attempting a field goal of 34 yards from the right hash mark with the win. They get a good snap. Kick is up. It is long enough. The kick is good. Timeout on the field with the score. Auburn 26, Georgia 10. 2 seconds to go third quarter, so if they return this, we will be at the end of the third quarter. Kickoff is high and going to be taken by Lindsey Scott at the 1, across the 5. He's at the 10. He's at the 15. He's at the 20, 25, and knocked down as he crossed 3 yards. Fumble the ball again. I think Georgia got it back this time, back at the 25-yard line. Georgia coughing that ball up freely here in the third quarter. They got it back, and that's the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Auburn Tigers 26, the Georgia Bulldogs 10. We move to fourth quarter action. Georgia up 1st and 10 at their 26-yard line. After the kickoff, Pyburn has him up. Wide outs either side. He's straight back to throw. Has a lot of time. Finds Simon at the 25. He's at the 30, at the 35, still on his feet, and knocked down at the 36-yard line. Play gained about 10 yards. It depends on where they mark him down as to whether or not he got the first down. It appears that he does have the first down. Well, let's see. Are they going to bring the chains in? Maybe they are. They are going to bring the chains in. He got exactly to the 36, and the line of scrimmage was the 26. And again, Pyburn found that back out of the backfield. Still a lot of time to go in this game, Mike.
Yes, there really is, and I think that's a very good call on that first down. The linebackers on the part of Auburn had good drops in position to make a play, but then it's just a one-on-one situation with back out of the backfield against the linebackers.
That was a 10-yard gain and a first down for the pass from Pyburn to Matt Simon.
Our position here, we can look through the glass. To the right side, we see the Georgia coaches in the press box. To the left, the Auburn, and right now, the smiles are all to the left, as you might expect.
Double wide outs right, some movement in the line. Womack gets the carry and is knocked down by Freddie Smith and Edmund Nelson, or Danny Skutak. It looked like some movement in the offensive line for Georgia that time, though Tim Morrison apparently came off the ball a little bit too soon. In the past, we've seen Auburn hurt themselves with penalties offensively more than anybody stopped them. Today, Georgia has hurt themselves offensively with penalties.
Certainly have. They have really hurt themselves with penalties, and of course the turnovers here in the second half. They have really hurt themselves.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 31. It'll be 1st and 15 for Georgia at their 31.
Defensively now we've got Skutak and Smith in at linebacker. Tim Wood is at the right defensive end and Dan Dickerson at the left defensive end.
Amp Arnold and Lindsey Scott come wide right. They also have a man wide to the left. Split backs behind Pyburn. He's straight back to throw. He has time. Dickerson now pressures. He has Carmen Prince at the 34-yard line. Prince gets away at the 34 and goes down at the 33-yard line finally. Host of Auburn tacklers there. Darrell Wilkes was there first. Then Freddie Smith and Frank Warren and James McKinney all came over to knock him down. Play gained only 2. It'll be 2nd down 13 now at the 33-yard line for Georgia.
Prince was really hit.
He sure was. They had a couple of guys zero it in on him when he got the ball.
Georgia up now, 2nd down 13. They send Amp Arnold wide left. Lindsey Scott wide right. High backs behind Pyburn this time. Pyburn with a long count. He is straight back to throw once again. Has a lot of time. Looking deep. He's going for the home run ball. He's got Lindsey Scott at the 30. It is overthrown at the 20-yard line. Darrell Wilkes was a step behind Lindsey Scott, but Pyburn threw it a step too far. There's a flag on the play in the area of the offensive line. And Georgia is retreating. Frank Warren was being blocked by Tim Morrison, and that is the area where the flag was thrown. And now Morrison appears very disgusted. We'll wait and see what the call is. They give us the call now, personal foul against, let's see, he started to point toward Georgia. Personal foul on Georgia is the call. So if Auburn does accept that major distance penalty, the walk-off will move it back inside the 20-yard line.
The key right there was Jeff Pyburn had plenty of time to throw the ball. He's got a strong arm. We're going to have to get some pass rush, or that guy will hit one of those bombs in a minute with the speedy guys he's got to throw to.
Personal foul moves it back to the 18-yard line. That brings it up second down 28 now for Georgia at the 18-yard line. Simon is out at the tailback slot. We'll have to see who checked in. They send Russell and Arnold wide left, and Norris Brown wide right. Carmen Prince is also in the backfield with Womack behind Pyburn. Now Pyburn taking a long time to set his play. He is changing plays at the line. Taking a long time. Now he's straight back to throw again. He is looking. It is incomplete. Interference will be ruled over against the Auburn defender. Johnny Green interfered with Norris Brown. He just mistimed his defensive play that time. He had good position and just mistimed it by a split second there, Mike.
He did. He hit him a fraction too early, and a good call on the part of the referee.
Will that give them a first down?
That will be an automatic first down, I believe.
That is a very damaging play because it was second down and a mile, and the interference call gives them the first down.
So they were second and 28, and they now have first and 10 at their 27-yard line. 13-11 to go in the game. 26-10. Auburn leads. Georgia with the ball. Jeff Pyburn has gone all the way. Buck Ballou, the starting Georgia quarterback, was injured on a safety. On the first play, Georgia had the ball when Frank Warren tackled him in the end zone.
They actually moved the chains 5 yards the other way and award a first down, isn't that right?
Arnold wide left, Scott wide right, Georgia up on first down. Again, they appear to be audibling. Pyburn back to throw, looking. He has his pass and throws it out of bounds. He's looking for Lindsey Scott again, and Dan Dickerson and Johnny Green had coverage in the flat. And so Pyburn wisely just threw the ball away. Second down 10 at the 27-yard line. Auburn fans celebrating across the way now. 13:07 to go in the game, and Auburn leading by 16 points. Georgia with the ball.
I don't think it's time to celebrate.
A lot could still happen.
The way that guy can throw the football, he's got a strong arm. Anything can happen.
Amp Arnold wide left. Scott wide right on second down 10. He's back to throw, fakes a draw, has a lot of time, now pressure's on, he gets his pass away, it is tipped incomplete. James McKinney had it go in and out of his hands at the 40-yard line of Georgia. McKinney is upset he mistimed his leap because James McKinney had a touchdown if he picks that one off. He saw the play coming from his center field position as they looked for Lindsey Scott over the middle, and McKinney just mistimed by a fraction. Third down 10, Georgia at the 27-yard line.
Not really much behind that throw on the part of Pyburn. A great ball to potentially intercept. McKinney almost had it, but didn't quite come down with it.
Brown is wide right. Scott and Arnold are wide left. Carmen Prince and Womack behind Jeff Pyburn. On third down 10, he's straight back to throw. Trying to set a screen. Now he's looking deep. He's got a man down there deep. Scott at the 50. He's at the 45. He is down finally at the Auburn 40-yard line. Lindsey Scott cut it square across the middle, caught the ball at the 50-yard line, and ran it down to the Auburn 40 before finally being knocked down by Danny Skutak on the pursuit. That's a Georgia first down. Another third down conversion. They have it. First and 10 at the Auburn 40-yard line.
Again, it was just a matter of Pyburn having all day to find his receiver. Not much pressure on the part of Auburn's defense.
Arnold goes wide left. Clock running. 12:35 to go in the game. Scott is wide right. Eye backfield for Jeff Pyburn. They give inside to Womack. Running room at the 40, but he's knocked down on a shoestring tackle by Freddie Smith.
Oh, boy. He might have been gone to the races had he slipped that tackle.
Freddie Smith just grabbed a knee and hung on. Play gain 3, second down 7. The ball just outside the Auburn 36-yard line. And they're starting to get cranked up again here. It got quiet during the third quarter, but it's cranking up again as Georgia senses a possible comeback. Arnold is wide left. Lindsey Scott is wide right. 12 minutes to go in the game. Pyburn, quick pitch to Simon. Simon rolls to his left, across the 35 and knocked down at the 33-yard line.
Boy, that Bob Harris came up and made a play, didn't he? Came up from that cornerback and nailed him.
Play gained about 3 after a long run. They ran from the right hash mark all the way around to the left hash mark on the sweep. Auburn Tigers lead the Georgia Bulldogs 26-13. A 13-point advantage now for Auburn, as Georgia just moved from their 26-yard line close enough for Rex Robinson to kick that 49-yard field goal down to the Auburn 32.
Auburn has a great kicker, but so does Georgia. He is an outstanding kicker. He has a stronger leg, actually, than George Patella.
Robinson is on to kick off. Is it too early for the onside kick? 11-12 to go in the game. Auburn has dominated the second half except for that drive of 42 yards Georgia just put together. Brooks is deep for Auburn, and Auburn is cheating up. They expect a short kick, it appears. And they're going to get it. Georgia shifts everybody to the left side. Robinson kicks it high in the air. It is caught and fallen on by a defensive lineman up there, and we'll check and see who made that heads-up play.
Boy, what a play.
It was Keith Euchre from Hollywood, Florida. Caught that high-bouncing soccer-style kick and had no visions of running with it. He fell on top of it as soon as he caught it.
What a play for a tackle to step up there and make the play for you. Handle the football. I bet he hasn't touched the football this year.
That's a great play. You're right. And he didn't hesitate charging that ball because had it hit the ground, it was anybody's ball.
What a play.
Auburn has it at the 48-yard line. 1st and 10. Good field position for Charlie Troppin. They split Cribbs and Brooks behind him. He gives inside. James Brooks across the 50 and down to the 48-yard line before being knocked down. Mike?
Peoples again.
Is it Peoples? They slipped Peoples in again. They sure did. George Peoples in with Joe Cribbs now. And Peoples gets 3 from the 48 to the Georgia 49. Gain of 3, 2nd down 7. Franklin wide right. They have Robbins and Atkins wide left on 2nd down 7. Charlie Troppin with an eye backfield behind him. 10:40 to go in this ball game. Auburn with the ball on a 13-point lead. They give inside to Joe Cribbs. Cribbs surges forward to the 44-yard line before being knocked down. Went right up the middle that time. Good power running to the 44-yard line. Play gained 5, and that will bring up a 3rd down situation for Auburn. 3rd and 2. The ball at the Georgia 44.
You got to hand it to Auburn. They've got all this yardage on the ground with no tight end.
Power high offense now. They're going to grind it out on 3rd and 2.
DuBose and Brooks check in. They also check the tight end in. It's Keith Euchre on the right side on 3rd and 2. They give to Cribbs. No, Troutman down the outside. Going to keep it. Pitch to Brooks, 40. He's at the 35, 30. He's at the 25. He's at the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, James Brooks did it again.
Much speed.
And again, Charlie Troutman strung it all the way out to the sideline. And James Brooks just took it right in front of the Georgia bench all the way down the sideline.
What a gutty play that was, too, Paul Ellen. That was a gutty play. They set that thing up. They thought they were going to come inside, and they threw it outside to them. That was a call play for the touchdown.
They sucked everybody inside on the fake to Cribbs. And James Brooks and Charlie Troutman came out there with one man to beat, and they beat him. 42 yards, 44 yards on the run by James Brooks.
It is James Brooks who goes over the 200-yard mark today against Georgia.
52-yard drive for Auburn. Portella on to attempt the point after. From the hold of Foster Christie, and they haven't placed the ball yet. 9:58 to go here in the ball game. Christie will hold. Portella will attempt the point after. There's a snap. Kick is up. It is good. Kick is good. Time out of the field. The score, Auburn 33, the Georgia Bulldogs 13. Auburn leads 33-13. Auburn has Georgia up. He sends Amp Arnold wide right. He's the only wide out. Pyburn runs out on the option to the right. Wants to pitch and can't. He is thrown down hard by Harris Rayburn. Rayburn comes in and just took the option away from him, threw him down right at the 30-yard line. Play loses 3. 2nd down 13 now for Georgia at the 30-yard line.
And gentleman that he is, he helped Jeff Pyburn get up.
Now they're cheering, "We want Bama" across the way, and they're making some noise here, as you can hear down below in Sanford Stadium. That's only about a fifth of the crowd here, but they're making a whole lot of noise. Amp Arnold moves wide left. Lindsey Scott wide right. Georgia up 2nd down 13 to the 30-yard line. Pyburn straight back to throw. He has a lot of time now. Pressure finally gets to him. He gets his pass away, complete to Scott at the 35, back to the 30, and knocked down at the 33-yard line. Harris Rayburn came across and knocked him down. Now does very quickly. Good snap for Garrett. Garrett gets his kick away. It is a long, low spiral. Cribbs is going to field it at the 17-yard line. He's at the 20, moves to his right, can't go anywhere, and is stacked up back at about the 15-yard line. Now Cribbs leaves the game, and George Peoples checks in. On 3rd down 7, Charles Thomas is the quarterback. Long count for Charles Thomas. He moves left. Going to keep it himself at the 40. Gets outside of the 45 and knocked down finally up near midfield. If he got midfield, he'll have the first down. He had to get to the 48. He is at the 50-yard line. That's an Auburn first down. 4:10 to go in the game. Pat McShay finally knocked Charles Thomas down, and Auburn just flexing that muscle now offensively, Mike.
Oh, they really are, Paul. And I think, again, one of the factors in this fourth quarter, as we noted prior to the game, was who wanted it the most, and it's quite obvious that Auburn really desired to win this ball game coming over to Athens, Georgia.
Ryan Atkins and Steve Potovan wide right. Michael Edwards is wide left on first down at midfield. 3:57 to go in the game. Charles Thomas has Auburn up. He gives it to the fullback, Dubose, and Dubose is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. First down, Georgia at their 23. They send Junior wide left, Russell wide right, Falk the quarterback. Minute 30 to go in this ball game. Falk is back to throw, rolling left. He's looking deep. He's going for it all out there, and Auburn is going to intercept at the 40. Coming back upfield at the 45, 50, at the 40, 45, 40, 35, and knocked out of bounds finally at the 30-yard line. That's one of the freshmen over there. It was either Johnny Cheeks or Willie Howell. I think it was Johnny Cheeks.
Yes, sir.
Johnny Cheeks, the freshman, made the interception at the 40 and returned it all the way back upfield to the Georgia 35-yard line. He was playing the receiver on that side, Junior, all the way, Mike, and had him blanketed as he threw the ball.
Great play on the part of Auburn's defender.
Minute 19 to go in the game. And let's see who's in now. Is it Bob Berry? Yes, it is. Bob Berry, the freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, is the quarterback. Sends Atkins and Potovan wide left. Michael Edwards wide right. Berry gives inside of the fullback. He finds running room across the 35 down to about the 32-yard line. Minute 13 to go in the ball game. Let's see. Was that George Peoples at fullback that time? So he gets 3 down to the 32-yard line. Ralph Worthen made the tackle. Both sides beginning to substitute quite heavily now. Less than a minute to go in this game. Bob Berry has Auburn up. Now there's going to be motion in the Auburn line, and the whistles are going to sound. And they just came in and cheap shot at Bob Berry from behind as he went back. And now Bob is going to have a word with the man who came in and hit him. Auburn's going to catch a penalty. Will Forts came in and just hit Bob Berry from behind as the play was whistled dead. And Auburn's going to catch a 5-yard penalty. And Bob is up gesturing at the Georgia line, but Auburn's still going to get assessed 5 yards back to the 37. A lot of frustration here on the Georgia side of the field. 48 seconds to go. Auburn leads 33-13. Clock starts back after the penalty now. Second down. Now 12 for Auburn. Atkins and Potovan wide left. Edwards wide right. High backfield for Bob Berry. Movement in the line on Georgia this time. They give inside to Willie Huntley. He is back across the 35 down to the 34-yard line before being knocked down.
Both of these young
Ralph Worthen made the tackle. Go ahead, Mike.
Both of these teams having young players in are very eager, of course, and that's the reason for these penalties in the latter part of this game.
32 seconds to go here, and the penalty will be assessed against Georgia, so that'll move it right back down to the 32. Georgia Tech beating Navy. We just get the score over in Atlanta. That'd be a big win for Georgia Tech. Second down 6 now, Auburn. The ball back at the 32-yard line. Berry has him up. Clock starts. 28 seconds to go in the game. This may be the last play of this football game. Berry fakes inside. Going to keep on the option. No, he gives it to the fullback inside. George Peoples, I think, and Peoples is stacked up. 15 seconds to go, and I doubt Auburn will snap another play in this game. Ball is marked down at the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5, and the Auburn fans down below counting it off. 3, 2, 1, that's it. Auburn has convincingly defeated the Georgia Bulldogs here. However, Georgia is not out of contention for the Sugar Bowl. You got to remember, Auburn still has to play Alabama, and if Auburn were to beat Alabama, Georgia would still go to the Sugar Bowl. So the part 2 of the Sugar Bowl showdown comes up in 2 weeks over at Legion Field. That's it from Sanford Stadium now, though. We'll be back with some closing comments in just a moment. Your final score, Auburn 33, Georgia 13.